Hey guys, JR here. Listen, I got to share this with you. And it's not meaning to toot my own horn or tote my own horn or whatever it is you do with a horn. It is to say that I have some very cool and amazing clients. I have people that, basically right now are looking for some solutions to manage pain. They're looking for solutions to go to that next level of athleticism in their sports world. And the one thing I find that is common throughout all of this is a limiting attitude. Now, we all have our limiting beliefs, our paradigms, and you got to ask yourself, why do we have those? Well, we have them because it's a reflection of what we see in ourselves, our self-image. Now, self-image is going to be a word that I'm going to be using a lot, a combination of words I'm going to be using a lot, because not only is it something that I've suffered with, but as I watch Facebook feeds and other social media, it's become predominantly aware to me that I'm not the only one. There are so many people that are suffering from this poor self-image. And this poor self-image, what that means is if we don't have a good view of ourselves, then what can we do? How can we go to that next level, right? Well, we can't because we're not enough. We don't feel like we can do these things that we need to do. Now, that's a really sad thing, because in our society right now, and with the access we have, both the positive and negative things on the World Wide Web, are we diving down into the negativity, or are we kind of going up with it? And I think what happens is we get down these rabbit holes, and with these rabbit holes, what we find is that it starts to change our perspective. You know what? It's like you're kind of in this dark shadow, or you can be in this nice light, in the shade maybe. You can step out of that shade. When we start comparing ourselves to everything going on around us, there's one problem right there. You are negating your own unique individuality. Your self-image, what you feel about yourself, believe about yourself, is being contaminated by all the comparison that you're doing. It's not easy to stop doing that, of course, and I'll tell you from personal experience. What I can also tell you is that you can go from being sort of hidden and getting down about yourself, and I've been there. I mean, we've all been there. You can go from there to maybe, shining a little bit of light. Now, normally I'd have my sunglasses on. That's why I tend to squint a lot. But here's the thing. Your self-image, if you could step outside yourself, you're in a certain situation and you don't really know what to do, and things are dragging you down, you got a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, you don't know what the right decision is. Can you imagine if you could just step outside of that and take a moment to have yourself stand beside yourself and say, okay, all right, JR, what should you do in this situation? How can you make this better? And I think a really funny thing comes to mind. When you start to look at it from that perspective, you step outside yourself, you can have a unique perspective on what you should or should not do. You can have a unique perspective on, let's say you create that other self, that alter self. You can have that perspective that says, I'm strong and powerful, and hey, I'm here to be your guide. And as I'm your guide, what do I want to do? Well, I want to guide you to make the right decisions. Well, how do you guide somebody to make the right decisions? Well, what you end up doing is objectively you stand outside yourself and you say, man, what's the right thing to do? Now, think of it this way. As I walk in this park, if, as my 57-year-old self, I decided to hop up on this wonderful log over here, this fallen tree, and I didn't have the right footwear on, well, other self, what would you say? And the other self might say, you've been having some issues with the knees and you're not wearing the right shoes. That might not be a good idea. You could end up twisting a leg or twisting an ankle, something like that, and then somebody's got to help you back to your car and take you to the hospital. Well, how about this? You're in a tight situation, and maybe it involves a person in your life that is toxic. It involves a person who is passive aggressive. Now, we all know people like that. We have sometimes parents who are like that. We have siblings who are like that. We have best friends who are like that. Maybe you have partners who are like that. And you just can't seem to get away or find the strength to get away from that. It's your self-image. You don't feel worthy of something better. And I've come across this a lot. You know people like that a lot too. What do? Stand outside yourself, objectively look at yourself and say, listen, aren't you tired of this BS? Aren't you tired of having somebody who doesn't respect you as a person? Aren't you tired of having your energy just drained away? Well, the answer to this has got to be, well, now that you look at it that way, yeah, I am tired. Guess what? If you don't address that situation, it's never going to get better. I have dealt with many clients through the years of being a therapist, hypnotherapist, and I mean, that's, what are we looking at? Over 20 years now. And I've seen people, they just couldn't get away from it. They just wouldn't remove themselves from it. And I would say to them, I said, look, you are worthy of so much more. Take a look at yourself. You're worthy of a great relationship. We're all worthy of great relationships, yet we get caught up in these relationships that are toxic, whether it's with a family member, whether it's with a partner, lover, whether it's with a friend, whatever. Your self-image is going to determine what you do with it. If you can step outside your self-image, yourself, and objectively look at yourself, I know it sounds hard to do, but we all have these great minds. We're all very creative. We can all do this. Well, if we can step outside that and get advice from ourselves, well, you can also get advice from your friends and stuff like that have a healthier perspective. If you can do that, yourself, your friends might say to you, what are you doing? You know, you're worthy of better things. You're worthy of a better life. And at that point, it becomes blatantly aware that, yes, you are. What are you going to do? Objective self? Well, you can do this. You can take a moment to think about yourself and all the great things that you do in your life, all the great people you know in your life, and you can know that you're not alone. You can reach out to other people. There are resources around. You can reach out to them. And somehow you can find the strength to make amazing change happen. We're all worthy of great relationships. Sometimes, though, we get in these situations where our self-image just affects our confidence in what we believe we should have and what we can do. And if we don't take those first steps forward, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? So let's start moving forward. I'm going to have more of these videos coming out. Probably going to have some school presentations coming out soon. This whole notion of self-image, what we're worthy of, what you can do with it, how you can address certain things. And by the way, you know, we're all going to be confident in certain areas. We're all going to be confident or less than confident in other areas. At the same time, though, take a look at what you feel you're worthy of. Take a look at yourself and who you think you are. And if, when the answer comes back that you are not enough, that you are not worthy of great relationships, you're not worthy of that perfect job or that great job for you, you're not worthy of a change, a move, things like that, ask yourself why. When it comes right down to it, there are 7-8 billion people in the world now. You know there's nobody like you. There is no one who has, and you could be a twin. There's nobody who has your unique experiences, your neurology, and your perspective on life. And I'll tell you this, there are problems to be solved, and you're going to be one of the people to solve them. So celebrate your uniqueness. There's nobody like you in the world. You're not 1 in a million. You're 1 in 8 billion. That's how you should feel about yourself. Hey, tell you what, let's catch up soon. When I post this, I'll post a link. If you just want to have a casual conversation with me, man, let's do that. I'm kind of in that position where I've kind of come out of the shadows and just where I've been mental health wise. And I really want to make myself available to share my knowledge and to pay it forward. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anyway, let's catch up soon. Okay, and have yourself an amazing day. Look at that sunshine. I don't even know if I'm looking at it properly. Man, it's beautiful. Holy smokes. Love being down in the river valley. Awesome. All right, guys, we'll catch up soon. Take care. Have an amazing day. Enjoy that sunshine.